What is up guys, Andy Forestine Runner here and welcome back to this third and final instalment in a three-part mini-series where we have been diving into the world of marathon fueling. Yes, running gel testing. Today we are concluding the series with Mountain Fuel and Unived. This has been a great series and a really interesting one for me to do. It's allowed me to experiment with different running company gels, and I will do an overall video at the end after this video to give you a bit of an overall comparison. But today we're going to be focusing specifically on these two brands. And of course, if you missed the first two episodes, make sure you go check those out in the playlist or in the annotations above. So as per usual, what I'm going to do is cut to some footage of me testing out these running gels in action. Quick disclaimer, I have tried Unived gels before, but of course these are brand new flavours and brand new packaging, so it was really interesting for me to go out there and try the new flavours whilst I was out on the run and of course see how they fared with any GI issues and performance. So what we're going to do, we'll cut to that, I'll let you see how we got on with those, and then we'll cut back afterwards. I'll tell you a little bit more information about them, how I got on with them and whether I will be using them moving forward. So if you're excited for today's video guys, make sure you give it a like, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel for weekly running content, and without further ado, we'll cut to Mountain Fuel. So welcome to gel testing number 5, and today we're testing Mountain Fuel. For Mountain Fuel, I kept putting polls out on Instagram saying, do you want it Mountain Fuel or Morton? Mountain Fuel or SAS? Mountain Fuel and Puma or whatever it was. And it kept getting the lowest votes. So I didn't give it a chance today. I just thought, we're not putting it to the vote, I'm testing them out. So today we're out on our long run and just getting 15, 16 miles done. Slightly slower pace than normal, just because weather, body's not feeling it, but we're still in relatively decent shape, still clocking on the tarmac 710, 720, so I'm happy with that. We've got the orange flavour and the cola flavour to try. Let's get first reactions on the taste test of this gel. Liquid, very liquidy. It's almost like drinking orange juice. Excuse the hat as well. Quite nice. All gone. All gone in one go. Liquidy, very runny. The runniest texture out of all the gels we've tried so far. That could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing. My stomach doesn't react too well to drinking on runs. I tend to stitch up. So I'll touch base with you in a bit with GI issues if there are any. But overall, a nice flavour. And welcome to the 6th and final gel testing of this series. It's been a blast to try all of these, and today it's all about Unived. Now you guys know I love Unived, but they have a heck of a load more new flavours out and some better packaging, so I'm keen to try some of those new flavours today. We've got 2 or 3 with us, so we'll see how far we go. But first up, we're trying vanilla orange, which is good because I like citrus flavours in my gels. So it'll be interesting to see what this tastes like. Get some first reactions. Oh yes, that's better than the vanilla sea salt. Oh yes. Oh, I could neck that. I look like a bit of a savage then, but that is a winner. That's a nice flavour. All gone. Wow, really good. I'll touch base with you when we have the next gel and let you know if I've had any GI issues from it. Okay, on to the next flavour. Dark chocolate mint. I'm hoping these taste like After Eight, but we'll see. First impressions. Okay. Not what I was expecting.
Not like After Eights.
No.
Like toothpaste.
Nah, I don't know. It tastes a bit chemically.
nice. Oh, I should have said no GI issues from the vanilla orange, so that went down a treat. I'm sure this will go down a treat, but maybe I had a preconception in my head that it was going to taste like after eight, and it doesn't quite. Still nice, but not as good as vanilla orange. So absolutely no GI issues whatsoever. It's funny because after I had the gel, I belched and it tasted like after eight, but when I was having it, it didn't. But most importantly, no GI issues, and we were absolutely cruising at the end of this run. Just got to 6:20, so feeling really good, really happy that the new flavours have settled well in my stomach.
So as I said, apologies from the annotation there. As you saw, my GoPro cut out once again. I did end up being able to test out the Coca-Cola flavour. It was a really, really nice flavour. Really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed both of the tastes of these gels. But sadly, as the annotation said, we did get some gut issues. Let me just tell you a quick bit of factual information about these. 60 grams in this sachet, of which contains 82 calories. Interestingly, compared to the Unived gels, where you have a 41 gram packet with 110 calories in. So this certainly packs more of a punch in terms of calories. So it was very interesting because from a fluid perspective, like they were very liquidy, it was almost like taking a liquidy drink on board, and I quite enjoyed that. I did enjoy the flavour, I did enjoy the texture, very easy to go down, but just very sadly, they did not settle in my stomach whatsoever. However, in terms of performance, I felt very energised throughout the run. I felt very good on the run. And if you are someone that likes Coke flavour, for example, and an orange flavour, likes the SIS gels, then the Mountain Fuel is certainly one to give a go. They're very similar in taste and texture. These are a little bit more runny than the SIS gels. But in terms of performance, I really did find that these probably made me feel a little bit more energised than the SIS gels that I had. Now that could have been because the SIS gels kind of crippled me with my guts, so I wasn't thinking so much about energy and more about I need to get home as quick as possible. But on the whole, these things did perform really, really well. And I'm happy with how they performed. I'm just really sad that they gave me those guts issues. Otherwise, they would have got really, really high scoring marks. So in terms of a GI perspective, I'm going to have to give them, sadly, like a 1 or a 2 out of 10. But taste and flavour wise, absolutely 4 or 5 out of 10. So I'd highly recommend trying them if you have strong guts and if you like SIS gels. In terms of Unived, as I said in the beginning, I have tried Unived before. These are new flavours. You saw on the run how I got them with the flavours. Absolutely love the vanilla orange. Wasn't particularly sold on the dark chocolate mint. However, it did taste good afterwards, and I was full of energy whilst I was having them. And I've got so many more flavours to try from Unived that I think I'm going to do a separate video on all the Unived flavoured gels, because there's such an expansive range that I have not tried yet, and I cannot wait. If this is anything to go by, then some of the others are going to be absolutely incredible. But as I said, how did we feel when we got on with these gels? Well, thankfully we had no GI issues as per what we have had in previous Unived gel testing, which is great. So these up there with Morton and Huma are the only 3 gels out of the 6 that caused me no GI issues whatsoever. In terms of taste, out of all the gels that I have tried on the 6 running brands, this flavour right here, vanilla orange, is head and shoulders above the rest, the best flavour. Huma gel had some incredible flavours. The lemonade flavour was brilliant. Morton was flavourless but performed really well. From a flavour perspective, this has got to pip the lemonade from the Huma, I've got to say. As I said, not too keen on this, but excited to try other Unived flavours. So in terms of energy wise, felt absolutely brilliant, felt great along the run, did 17 miles, picked up the pace at various points, just running with James, doing a bit of marathon pace, then finished with some faster stuff, all fueled by these 2 gels. And all I had before I left the house for a run was a banana. So felt really, really good in that perspective. So from a GI standpoint, I've got to give these things a 5 out of 5. So would I use either of these 2 gels again? And if I would, what situation would I use these gels in? Well, let's take GI out of the equation for a minute, because I appreciate that is a personal thing. A lot of you guys that try Mountain Fuel will not suffer with GI issues. Where and what type of races would I use this in? From a half marathon perspective, I've always started with the other gels half marathon and up, half marathon, marathon an ultra, I would consider this across all the distances. And I think the good thing about mountain fuel is when you're running at a half marathon, you are trying to go at a relatively intense pace, and so you don't want something thick like a Humagel, in my opinion, that's going to take a bit of effort to chew and get down. Because this is so liquidy, it would be absolutely perfect on a half marathon. If you can stomach it, it would be absolutely perfect. Similarly with the Unived, again, I would use on a half marathon. Quite a liquidy consistency. In terms of the 6 gels that we've tested, I would put in a bracket together SIS, Unived and Mountain Fuel as the more liquidy of the 6 gels. The others, Morton, Spring Energy, being a little bit thicker. But from that perspective, both of these will be perfect for a half marathon. I have used a Unived gel in a half marathon. It's been absolutely fine. It's been great. And as I said, if you don't get the guts issues, this would be perfect as well. How about a marathon? Both of them perfect for a marathon. In my opinion, Unived would get the nudge from me just because I felt like I got a touch more energy out of it and had a better performing run than I did with this. But again, if you get on well with this, I wouldn't hesitate to use it on a marathon either. The only thing I would say with this is it's less calories per pack, so you've got to be conscious of how many calories you're taking on board, and of course probably have to take an extra one of these. So maybe, for example, if you take 4 gels on a marathon, you might need to take 5 if you're having mountain fuel. And finally, ultra. I've never run an ultra before, but would I consider taking these on an ultra? Yes, no. I think when you get into the realms of an ultra, and from speaking to lots of people that do ultras, you need to mix things up with gels and food. And trying the Spring Energy and the Humagels, they feel something more like what I would love to take on an ultra marathon. Feel a bit more like something I could chew, something a bit more substantial. And this would just feel like I'm maybe drinking too much because of how the consistency of the liquid in this gel. Whereas this thing, just a touch thicker, with the punch you get from the flavours, I think it would just give you the zing you needed to get you through an ultramarathon, mixed in with other real food along the way. So that's how I would use them. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you have used either Unived or Mountain Fuel, how have you used them? Let me know in the comments below, and let me know if you prefer any of the other flavours, or of course any of the brands that we've talked about in this 3-part series. So there we go, that's it from me, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've found some use from this, and you can go away and test the gels in your own way and find out what works for you, because ultimately at the end of the day, that is what is important. So if you enjoyed today's video, guys, make sure you give it a like, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel for weekly and running content, and I will see you on the next one. Until then.